chosen one's people look at you, and suddenly go silent. No words. No reaction. No explanation. And the angels say this is not normal human behavior. This is spiritual interruption. The moment you enter a space, something shifts. Not loudly, but undeniably. Conversations lose direction. Eyes drift toward you. And then silence follows. The angels whisper, "It is because your presence speaks before your mouth ever opens." There is something about you that cannot be mentally processed fast enough, so people pause instead of speaking. That pause is what you call staring. The angels reveal a deeper truth: people don't stare at what is familiar, they stare at what disrupts their inner world. And you, my chosen one, carry disruption in silence. Some stare because your energy exposes them without you saying a single word. Some stare because your calm feels stronger than their noise. Some stare because your existence feels like a question they cannot answer. And when the mind has no answer, it goes quiet. That is why they say nothing. The angels say your presence does not request attention, it overrides distraction. You don't compete in a room, you change it. And here is what the angels want you to understand deeply: their silence is not emptiness, it is overwhelm. Their staring is not curiosity alone, it is recognition mixed with confusion. Because something in you feels familiar, yet impossible to explain. My chosen one, this is why you cannot blend in, even when you try. Even your stillness stands out. Even your silence carries weight. Even your absence is remembered. The angels warn you gently, do not misread their silence as rejection. It is actually impact without language. And here is the truth heaven is revealing over your life: you are not being looked at casually, you are being experienced spiritually. That is why eyes follow you. That is why words disappear around you. That is why people act different in your presence. Because you are not just seen, you are felt. And the angels end this message with fire and certainty: you were never designed to enter rooms unnoticed, because heaven placed something on you that forces the world to respond even in silence. When they stare at you and say nothing, it is not just about you. It is about what awakens inside them. The angels say your presence becomes a mirror. And not everyone is ready to see what that mirror reflects. That is why some people look at you with confusion. Some with admiration they hide. And some with discomfort they cannot explain. Because you are not only being seen, you are revealing. Even without trying. Even without speaking. The angels whisper, this is why silence follows you. Because your energy enters places that words cannot enter. And when something cannot be explained, people choose quiet. The angels want you to hear this clearly: you are not too intense, you are not too different, and you are not too much. You are simply carrying a presence that forces truth to rise. And truth makes people pause. The angels also reveal something important: not everyone who stares at you is judging you. Some are processing you. Some are feeling inspired but don't know how to express it. Some are remembering something within themselves that they lost. And your presence triggers that memory. That is why they go silent. The angels say, your life is not random impact, it is spiritual influence. Even when you feel unnoticed, you are still affecting rooms you don't realize. Even when you feel invisible, you are still being felt deeply. And the angels remind you again, you were never meant to move through life without effect. You were meant to leave traces in people's energy, even in silence. So when you notice the stares, don't shrink. Don't question your worth. Don't try to become smaller just to make others comfortable. Because the angels say this truth over you: what you carry is not for explanation, it is for impact. And even when no one speaks it out loud, heaven already confirmed it. Your presence is not ordinary, it is appointed. Not every stare you receive is from admiration. And not every silence is comfortable. The angels say your presence can stir things that people have buried for years. That is why some people look at you for too long, then suddenly act distant. Because you remind them of something they avoided facing. The angels whisper, you do not just enter rooms, you enter memories. You do not just meet people, you awaken emotions inside them. And that is why reactions around you are so inconsistent. One moment, they look. The next moment, they avoid your eyes. Then they look again when they think you are not noticing. The angels say this pattern is not confusion about you, it is conflict within them. Because your presence carries clarity, and clarity exposes what is hidden. And not everyone is ready for that exposure. The angels want you to hear this very carefully, your energy is not loud, but it is honest. And honesty makes people uncomfortable before it makes them free. That is why silence follows you. That is why people don't know what to say. Because words require control, and your presence removes control from the atmosphere. The angels say even when you are tired, even when you feel low, even when you think you are unnoticed, your spiritual influence does not decrease. It remains active. It remains felt. It remains present. And here is the deeper truth heaven is revealing, you are not being measured by how much people talk to you. You are being measured by how much they feel you when they are near you. And the angels say this clearly, that feeling you create in others, is not ordinary. It is assignment level presence. So when you are stared at and no one speaks, understand this, they are not ignoring you. They are encountering something they cannot translate into words. And the angels finish with this final fire, you were never meant to be explained by people. Because heaven already defined you as a presence that speaks louder than language. The angels say this carefully, not all attention is visible. Some of it is energetic. Some of it is spiritual. Some of it is happening before your mind even realizes it. That is why people look at you and then struggle to behave normally afterward. The angels whisper, your presence creates a shift inside people that they cannot immediately organize in their thoughts. It is like something in them wakes up suddenly, and they don't know what woke it. So they stare. Then they pause. Then they act like nothing happened. But inside, something has already moved. The angels say this is why you often feel a strange mix of reactions around you. Some people become nervous, some become overly quiet, some become overly friendly, and some avoid you completely. It is not random behavior. It is internal reaction to external energy. And your energy, my chosen one, is not shallow. It carries depth. It carries truth. It carries presence. The angels want you to understand something very important here. When people stare at you and say nothing, it is because your presence is forcing them into awareness of themselves. And self-awareness is not always comfortable. That is why silence follows. The angels say your energy acts like a still mirror in a noisy world. People are used to noise. Used to distraction. Used to pretending. Used to passing through life without confronting what they feel. But when you appear, something interrupts that pattern. And suddenly, they feel more than they expected to feel. That feeling creates silence. The angels also reveal something deeper. You may think people are observing you, but in truth, many are observing what happens inside them when you are near. That is the real reason behind the stares. Not just attraction. Not just curiosity. But inner disturbance mixed with recognition. And the angels say, this is why your presence feels different even when nothing external about you has changed. Because what changes is not you, it is the atmosphere inside others. The angels want to remind you again, you are not responsible for how people react to what your presence awakens in them. You are not here to manage their internal world. You are here to walk in your truth. And the angels say something very strong over your life: even your silence is not empty. Even your quietness carries weight. Even when you feel invisible, you are still shaping energy around you. That is why people remember you longer than you expect. That is why your presence lingers after you leave a place. The angels whisper, this is not coincidence. This is imprint. And now, my chosen one, the angels want to bring you into a deeper understanding. There will be moments where you feel misunderstood. Moments where you feel like people are looking at you but not truly seeing you. Moments where silence feels heavy instead of meaningful. In those moments, the angels say, do not question your worth. Because your worth is not being determined by their ability to explain you. You were never designed to be easily explained. You were designed to be experienced. An experience cannot always be translated into words. That is why they stare. That is why they go quiet. That is why they feel something but cannot say what it is. The angels also want to protect your heart in this truth. Not everyone who feels your presence will understand it correctly. Some will admire it. Some will misunderstand it. Some will fear it. Some will project their own insecurities onto it. But none of that changes what you are carrying. Because what you carry is not decided by human interpretation. It is decided by heaven's assignment. And the angels say this with certainty: you were not placed in this world to be ordinary in the way people expect ordinary to be. You were placed to shift things silently. To affect rooms without permission. To be noticed without announcement. To exist in a way that creates reaction even in stillness. And now, my chosen one, the angels bring this message to its deeper conclusion. One day, you will understand that all those moments of being stared at, all those moments of silence, all those moments of confusion around you, were not signs that something was wrong with you. They were signs that something within you could not be ignored. Because heaven does not create silent impact for no reason. And the angels finish with this final, powerful truth over your life: you are not being observed like an ordinary person, you are being recognized like a presence that carries meaning beyond words, and that is why even silence responds to you. The angels say, when you enter a place, something invisible enters with you. It is not fear. It is not pride. It is not superiority. It is awakening. An awakening always interrupts what is comfortable. That is why people don't immediately speak. That is why their expressions change for a second before they regain control. That is why the room feels different even if nothing physically changed. The angels whisper, your presence forces people to become aware of themselves in ways they were not planning to. And that moment of awareness creates silence. Not because they dislike you, but because they are recalibrating internally. The angels also reveal something very important: some people stare at you because they feel your stability. In a world where many are emotionally scattered, your presence feels steady. And steadiness is rare. So they look. And when they realize they are looking too long, they become quiet. The angels say this is why your presence can feel heavy in some rooms, not heavy in a negative way, but heavy like significance. Like something important is happening, even if no one says it out loud. And here is what the angels want you to deeply understand: you are not responsible for the weight people feel in your presence. You are simply carrying what has been placed on you. The angels say your energy is not trying to impress anyone. It is not performing. It is not seeking validation. And that is exactly why it affects people so strongly. Because authenticity cannot be predicted. And what cannot be predicted often creates silence. The angels also want you to notice something: the more you grow, the more this effect becomes clear. Not because you are changing into someone else, but because what was always inside you is becoming more visible. And visibility creates reaction. Reaction creates silence. Silence creates awareness. And awareness creates transformation in others even when they don't realize it. The angels whisper, there are people who will think about you long after they leave your presence, not because of what you said, but because of how they felt around you. That feeling stays. It follows them. It returns in their quiet moments. And that is something you will never always see, but heaven sees it clearly. The angels also want to remind you, do not confuse silence with insignificance. In your case, silence is often the deepest form of recognition. Because when words fail, impact begins. And now the angels bring you to a deeper truth. There will be moments where you will wish people would simply talk to you more, express more, understand you more easily. But the angels say, your presence is not designed for easy interpretation. It is designed for deep encounter. And deep encounters take time to process. That is why people stare. That is why they hesitate. That is why they go quiet. And the angels say gently, do not lower your presence to make others comfortable with it, because every time you try to shrink, something within you still remains unchanged. Your essence does not reduce. Your imprint does not fade. Your assignment does not pause. And the angels now reveal the final part of this message. One day, you will stop asking why people stare at you. And you will start understanding that it was never about confusion, it was about recognition happening without permission from words. Because your presence speaks in a language that only energy understands. And the angels finish with this final declaration over you: you were not created to be fully explained by people, you were created to be felt, remembered, and acknowledged even in silence that no one can translate. Every environment has a rhythm: people speaking, laughing, moving, thinking without awareness. But when you arrive, something in that rhythm changes. Not loudly. Not visibly. But undeniably. The angels whisper, your presence introduces awareness where there was distraction. And awareness always slows things down. That is why conversations sometimes pause. That is why people hesitate mid-sentence. That is why eyes drift toward you without instruction. It is not planned. It is not forced. It simply happens. The angels say this is because your energy carries weight of presence, not volume of noise. And in a world that is used to noise, presence feels unfamiliar. That unfamiliarity becomes silence. The angels also reveal something deeper. Some people don't just stare at you, they study you without realizing it. Not to judge, but to understand what they are feeling. Because something in them reacts before their mind can define it. And when the mind cannot define something quickly, it enters observation mode. That is why they look. That is why they pause. That is why they become quiet. The angels say, you are not being watched in the ordinary sense, you are being processed in real time by people's emotions. And emotional processing is silent. The angels also want you to understand something very important for your heart: this effect you have is not something you created by trying to be noticed. It is something that exists naturally within you. Even when you feel ordinary. Even when you feel unseen. Even when you doubt your impact. The angels say your presence continues to speak regardless of your awareness of it. And this is why your life has always felt a little different from others. Because your influence does not require permission to operate. It simply exists. The angels now bring you into a deeper truth. there are people who will never tell you what they felt around you. They will not explain the stare. They will not describe the silence. They will not admit the internal shift. But they will remember it. And remembrance is a form of acknowledgement that lasts longer than words. The angels whisper, do not measure your impact by visible reactions alone. Because your deepest impact happens internally in others, where you cannot see. And heaven sees that clearly. The angels also say something powerful over you: you are not meant to adjust your existence based on how people respond to your energy. Because your energy is not a reaction, it is a constant. And constants are not shaped by surroundings. They shape surroundings. That is why rooms feel different when you enter. That is why silence follows without instruction. That is why people behave differently around you without understanding why. And the angels want you to hold this truth gently but firmly: you are not the confusion in people's reaction, you are the reason they are reacting. And now, my chosen one, the angels begin to close this message with depth. There will come a time when you will stop questioning the stares. You will stop analyzing the silence. You will stop trying to decode every reaction. And instead, you will simply understand: this is how presence responds to presence. This is how energy speaks without language. This is how heaven-designed influence operates in the physical world. And the angels finish with this final, powerful truth: you were never meant to be explained by human understanding, because your life carries a presence that speaks directly to the soul even when the mouth says nothing.